My pick.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to get into our picks for this upcoming wild card weekend for the playoffs here.
Week 1 of the playoffs.
Yes, week 1 of the playoffs, and now this is pretty exciting because we're talking about win or go home, and so you got the Chargers versus the Texans. What do you think about this matchup, and who do you think will win this game?
Well, I believe it's gonna be a cool fucking war 2 5 this game the point will be at the pack game. Hopefully, DJ now and people the Miko Watson. The diva, the diva are not so okay, but they have the probably help the diva out. But this game is gonna be a partner. I mean, LA will get done this week.
I will agree. I believe the Chargers will eliminate the Texans and go on to the second round. So then next up for Saturday's matchup is the Ravens and Steelers. This is the third time these teams are about to play each other. They split one during the regular season. The Ravens managed to manage their way back and won the division. And so they will be playing in Baltimore. Do you think Russell Wilson and the Steelers can truly contend against this Ravens offense and defense?
Look, he ain't not like that is so out for the playoff game. But more definitely as a hopper will be hopefully to get the win at be 2-1 on this year
against the Steelers.
Against the team. I got to give me Baltimore over Pittsburgh.
I will agree with that. I would agree that Baltimore is gonna go ahead and move on and go to the next round. The Steelers have been slipping slowly, and like I've tried to teach my son, the best time for football is in December. So if you're an organization, and no matter what happened in September and October, December is a must win. And when you start going in the opposite direction at the wrong time of the season, that's not a good sign for an organization, because chances are, even if you do make it to the playoffs, you're just going to continue on that slide, because I believe it's mental toughness for organizations. So if you have, like the Ravens, for example, they started off really bad in the very beginning of the season. If everybody noticed, like they started off really, really bad, right? And those games, they were close. They were close against the Chiefs. They were close against the teams they played in the very beginning. But they were losing these games, and then they turned it around, right? And that's because that's the month of September. You have an entire season ahead of you. When you get to December, you kind of know who you are as an organization, as a team. Everyone in the locker room knows, you've been together for many weeks now, and now suddenly you're reversing course and you're losing. That's not a good sign. I think the Steelers need to repair their defense. They play in a very competitive division and always have. And defense has always been the heart and star of the Pittsburgh Steelers in their entire existence. And they have not had that for some time. And I get it. It's an offensive-minded league. But if your defense can't stop a team and force them to punt at least 3 or 4 times within a game, you are going to lose the game. You cannot have a defense that consistently let a team march down the field or run out the clock, basically, because they're just slowly chipping their way down the field. You got to get a stop and get them off the field. And as long as you're able to do that, you have a higher chance of winning. I don't care what team it is, what franchise it is. That is the method to the game. If the defense can't get a stop and your defense allow that team to march down the field either quickly or slowly, it's a slow leak to your death. It's a quick leak to your death. You will lose that game every single time. And so I agree with you that the Ravens will move on Saturday. And that's an 8 o'clock game, folks. The early game with the Chargers and the Texans is a 4:30 game. So make sure you guys tune in for your fans. If you're a football fan If you're one of these 4 teams fans, make sure you guys are ready. Got your whole wardrobe on, your popcorn ready. Have all your neighbors over, all the goodies, wings, all of it. Make sure you guys are ready for this weekend's football. And then on Sunday, January 12th, which is a big day for me. But anyway, big day. It's just a big day anyway. But we're going to get into these games for Sunday on January 12th. Okay, first game, Bills and Broncos. Now the Broncos have a insane defense, and they have a pretty good young quarterback at the helm there. And Sean Payton and them has been playing. Now, yes, we seen what happened against the Chiefs at the very end of the season, but we know that the Chiefs set their starters, and these guys really, wink, wink, didn't play hard. Sorry, Cincinnati, but anyway, Broncos, Bills. Who you got? Josh Allen or Knicks?
Look. This team, the Broncos, Israel, this team should be the Broncos with this game.
In Buffalo.
That has a cat again. That has a cat
Anyway.
That has a cat if not the team that is going to first put up in
9 years.
And not the history. The history for that team.
And kudos to Sean Payton for letting his team turn around so quickly and back into the playoffs and a contender. So who you got? Just pick somebody.
As of today, give me the Denver Broncos. Oh, look at Bill. I bet that picture at both men at that defense. We get that. And remember, if that game goes to overtime,
we know Josh Allen has not won an overtime game in his young quarterback career. I'm going to go with the Bills. I think the Bills mentally, and they seemed really hungry. And believe it or not, I kept saying out of them and the Kansas City Chiefs, they are the better team just simply because of, I'm sorry, Mahomes, I know you're going to beg to differ if you see this, but I am telling you right now, man, these guys are hungry. They were the first team to beat you guys and give you your first loss of the season. And every time you two play each other, it is extremely competitive. So those games could have went either way each time you guys matched up, because that's just how close they were. And they literally came down to the wire every single time. There has not been one game since you two have been in the league, when you guys have played, that those games have not been the most entertaining games played in the league each and every single time you guys play.
That is a World Cup game
on Sunday, yes.
Hot dog.
So, and they are playing in Buffalo. So I'm going to go with the Bills. I think the Bills retain. I do agree with you that the Broncos is bringing something to the table, and I would not want to be the Chiefs, because honestly, I called it that if that team got into the playoffs, they were going to be more dangerous than any other team they have to play against. More dangerous than the Ravens, more dangerous than Buffalo, more dangerous than the Chargers, more dangerous than the Steelers, and more dangerous than the Texans. And the reason why is because they absolutely know the Chiefs. You played them twice this year, and the very first game you guys played, they gave you a run for your money, and they literally should have won that game. And we all know what happened there with the blocked field goal at the very end. But truthfully, they were looking for that revenge match. And although you set down your players, Andy Reid, they ain't satisfied. They want to play your starters, and I'm pretty sure they want to prove something, that they're the team for that division.
So
we're going to move on to
the game,
which is the Packers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, these two teams played each other in Brazil.
Back in week one.
And what a game that was. And the Eagles obviously came out victorious. This game is going to be held in Philadelphia. And I'm going to go first. I'm just picking the Eagles. Go Eagles.
Well, but I Eagles have or still have able to play. He is not at the recording. He is the getting partner, but he's not out of the protocol. This is going to be 3 weeks if they don't play. But I or the Eagles quarterback partner. But for me, I don't think that Jimmy could be the best that Eagles to get the win. But again, but I or the quarterback partner is that Eagles win. Then move on to Thursday night game.
Yep, which is the Commanders versus the Bucks. Those Pirates is coming after some Commanders there, trying to steal their gold. Let's say, who do you got at this 8:00 game? They're playing in Florida and Tampa. The Bucks is hosting the game. Do the Commanders come out victorious with their young quarterback, or do
the Buccaneers
Get
away.
Sink their ship at battle? Let's have it.
Look, the Buccaneers almost took a weekend. It cut down to week 18. That game again, the Packers a pair for the Buccaneers at that day. We all know what happened there.
Yeah, the Saints was holding their own with no quarterback and no coach.
The Buccaneers get away with that win.
Get away.
I got there. What again? The Buccaneers will get away with the game over the what Commanders.
Yes. Now look, the Commanders are a really young team, so if they lose here, I believe they will make another appearance back in the playoffs with the talent that they have. They can only improve from where they're at. They have an awesome quarterback that plays like a veteran. This is his first time, his first year as a rookie. He took his team to the playoffs. This is very impressive by them and their organization. But I'm actually going to go out on a limb and say Washington moves on and send the Bucks home. I don't think their ship gets sunk. I think that the Commanders' Navy will take care of that and sink their ship and steal their gold. And then the last game for this first week of the playoffs is on Monday, and that is a Monday night football playoff game, which is versus the Vikings and the Rams. Now these two teams have some history, and they've played each other before in the playoffs. There's been some history there as well. You got Donald and them, who basically lost that game against Detroit on so many levels, and nobody expected for that game to go the way it did, because the first game was very entertaining, very delicious of just football. And then the second game, it looked like they were really hammering each other, but the Lions came out victorious, got the first round bye. Is the Vikings going to be in their own head going against the Rams, or do they emotionally go, okay, we're a better team? Or does Stafford does his magic and take the Rams through these playoffs and maybe get back to another Super Bowl?
It looked like the Rams. I believe it's going to be Rams. That Jimmy go back in or go back in with is to put on and this could be the one for going quarterback.
Oh, Sam Donald?
No,
I'm sorry.
Matthew Stafford.
Stafford.
This could be that one for him. Do it, he up there. So, this game is gonna be really cute again on Monday Night Football. But I believe that it will cut out and be on time.
So.
And could be going back to Detroit.
Well, yeah. Well, look, that's what I was gonna bring up just now. You know, the coach from Detroit, Campbell, he said it. Look, I'll see you in 2 weeks. So maybe that was a sign. Now, the Rams could take it one of two ways. Like, look, how dare you? You know what? Are you saying that we're gonna go home? We'll prove to you that we're a better team. Now, they may take what Detroit has done. Now, if you guys remember, the Rams played Detroit earlier this year, and that was some game, and it was a lot of entertaining there, just like they played them last year in the playoffs. And so maybe the Rams take the formula that Detroit used to beat Minnesota and make havoc for Donald and his offense and cause it to be a low-scoring game and maybe pull off a victory. For me, I will take the Vikings over the Rams here, and that's what we're gonna see the next week's picture
The division round.
and the division round, and we'll see who's gonna be the next teams, the 4 teams that move on that end up going to the NFC and AFC championship, and then of course from there Super Bowl.
The go on to the football begin the week.
So
Oh boy, we talk about each head coach. We talk about each team hope for that beautiful
Lamar Trophy.
yeah, and be the best team in the world
Okay.
for another year.
So we're gonna wrap that up here, folks. We thank you guys for tuning in, and like I said, make sure you guys are ready for your teams and be out there to support. Have your friends and family over, enjoy, or if you're going out to a sporting place to watch the game, enjoy, folks. Thank you guys for tuning in,
Yeah,
and good luck to everybody this upcoming